So, next up we watched My Big Fat Greek Wedding, which was your choice again. Because
it was my choice, because...
you fucking loved this movie and still the fuck do.
Yeah, no. Having watched Notting Hill and being like, oh, that was disappointing. I rewatched this after many, many years and I was like, how the fuck did I forget how good this film was? It was so good. Maybe you need to come from, like, I don't know, a more traditional background, or like, I'm Turkish. I'm Turkish Cypriot.
Let's do a quick recap of the plot.
Yeah.
Because I feel like most people have seen both of these. I haven't seen this one, but yeah, we should probably have done plot recap for the...
We're just assuming everyone's seen these.
We're assuming everyone's seen Notting Hill, but My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
So, the basic plot of this is a girl from a Greek Orthodox family living in a modern America. The world she's living in and the world that her family have kind of got themselves stuck in. Anyone that comes from an ethnic background, I think, will identify with this a lot. And then she starts to kind of branch out, and she meets an American man that she then has to introduce to her family. That is the basic plot of this. There isn't much more to it.
Yeah, it's a bit more background on her. She hasn't dated before. She's never...
Yeah.
Been with a man.
I think that is
the implication.
The implication there. This is her first relationship. She's 30 years old. In a lot of kind of ethnic backgrounds, if a woman's not married, she's not encouraged to date or have relationships. It's not something you really do. Maybe more so now, but this is again 20 years ago.
But this is not. It's not really a rom-com.
It has its romantic moments, but it's not about their romance per se.
There's a relationship in it, but it doesn't function in the traditional rom-com sense. It is more about having a different national background, or having immigrant parents who still keep their national pride, or like
their identity, I guess.
Pride in their heritage.
Yeah.
Like the start of the film is about the girl's want for more than her family wants for her.
Yeah. In their traditional mindset, like, she hasn't gotten married, she doesn't have children, and they're kind of, in their mind, there isn't anything else for her. That is what you should have done, and you haven't done it, so now she's just working in her family's restaurant, and that's all she can see for the foreseeable future. And yeah, it's basically how she takes steps to get out of that, and how it reacts with her family. And it isn't a romantic comedy per se.
No, not at all. It's like she gets into a relationship during it, but so does fucking Han Solo and Star Wars. It is more about her relationship with the outside world, with her own culture, and eventually with her dad is the key part of it, really. And within that, the gender roles inherent within, like, Greek and
Turkish and a lot of more traditional backgrounds, I'd say.
But yeah, it was good. It was like I say again, it didn't really have these massive swings of like
peaks and troughs of drama, because that isn't what it really was about. It isn't.
Yeah.
It isn't like a romantic comedy where you're waiting for the second act when they're going to fall out and then they have to make it up with each other, and because it's not about that. Their relationship is actually solid. It's a good, healthy relationship that talks and communicates and all those good things. It's more about her coming to terms with her background and how she marries that with the person she is becoming. And I can't say to you how much I just empathized with this character like, he was making notes for all of these films. And yet I didn't want to wait till the end to notice these notes, because I was like, see, do you understand now? Do you understand? Do you see what I'm saying? Do you understand?
Well, my first note, and really the only one on this kind of a tip, was I now understand slightly more of the crazy sounding shit you say sometimes.
Yeah.
Which I think is fair. It's
yeah.
Like, it's just, it is different perspectives and ones that often more about pleasing some imagined form of family or respect for heritage and shit like that.
Comes up a lot.
Which I'm not a fan of in just the way I live personally. Like, happiness, like genuine happiness, should always be the end goal rather than have just like averted all the fires.
Yeah.
But it definitely did paint in a lot more of.
Yeah, because there's a lot of things I will say to you coming from like a Turkish Cypriot background where, especially me at like almost 35, not being married, that I say to you and you're like, you are
even
great.
that.
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah, but that is the thing. Like to my family, the fact that I'm 35 and not married, it's like, oh, she's past her prime. She's like she's on the shelf kind of thing. And
you are crackerjack.
Yeah, but now you've seen this. Now you understand.
Well, and so much more than that as well. So many crazy fucking little moments. It all gotten late and you don't want to eat past certain points in time on some days, and I'm like, oh no, it's cool. I'll go rustle myself up somewhere, and you're like, no, but I feel bad. Like, why? Well, because I haven't made you food. You're not eating. There's
a line in here, and I can't remember what it is, where she says, like, basically, I'm just meant to get married and make food for people for the rest of my life. And we both looked at each other and just, because, yeah, like, you come to my house, you get fed, you have food. Everyone in my house gets food. Everyone gets fed. Like, you can't leave my house hungry. Like, that isn't a thing.
It was a moment with Andrea Martin's character. I can't remember who says it to him. She's like, "Are you hungry?" "No." "It's okay, I'll make something."
Yeah, that is my nene. You go to her house, and if you say you're not hungry, she's like, well, she's my grandmother. She'll be like, no, I'll make you something. Just have something small, just a little bit. It's fine, just something, just sort it. In the end, you're just like, okay, give me anything. I'll have it. And yeah, just little moments through this that you would just see me laughing, and you'd be like, why? I don't understand. It's just, it just pictures it. These are my family gatherings to a T, and this is also why I wanted you to see it, because I was like, you need to be prepared. We've been in lockdown for the majority of our relationship now, so we haven't had any big family gatherings on my side. There's been no weddings, there's been no engagements, there's been no Friday nights. It's not even like everyone in my family goes to my nana's on a Friday night, so that's like 28 people when it's all of us.
Which is another part about this film, because that sounds like, from my perspective, doing that is like a week you kind of miss out on. I'm like, no, but that's your time where you go, especially if you're in a job which allows for that kind of shit and you're not doing shift work. If you have Friday night available to you, that's when you're, you're doing your main socialization of, like, pals. But your family, like, you not so much and your brother not so much, but your extended family will apparently would all have been just at your nan's every fucking week, and I'm like,
and that's fairly familiar to a lot of ethnic backgrounds, I guess. Like, that's kind of what you do. They keep to their own in a lot of ways, and they keep people around them that are familiar with their culture, that understand their language, because my nana and daddy don't speak the greatest of English. They can speak it and they get along. They've been here for like 50, 60 years. Oh
no, I can fully understand why your grandparents do it. On the other hand, why anyone ranking younger and younger ever so also continues to do that when they could be out having
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are the generations now that are like my cousins that are younger than me. They generally will, if they're young enough to be under their parents' control, they're at my nana's. If they're not, they may not be. And then you have that period out when no one goes back, and then as soon as you get married and you have children of your own, you're back at my nana's. And that's just how it goes. And I wanted you to have some kind of an understanding of what you're going to have to deal with. Like, even if it's just a small dose.
I did make some notes. Because I like making notes when I watch a film. It's fun sometimes. The second note I made, just in relation to the guy in the relationship, is he looks like Paul Rudd had sex with protein powder. Which he does. Like, you watch the film and
I do know exactly what you mean. He
does.
It's
like it's like Paul Rudd had a baby with one of the gym tan laundry fuckers from from Jersey Shore. And
He does.
there's no other way of explaining it.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I know the guy's name is John Corbett, and he's also Aiden in Sex and the City, if anyone's familiar with that. And he just got that kind of very... He got caught in that thing of hippie kind of white guy in the late 90s. He was the go-to for it.
Oh, he doesn't seem hippie to me. He seems very, like, fucking jock douche in this movie, at least.
Oh, see, I didn't get jock douche in this at all.
Not in character, but just in look. Like, that's what he looks like. He looks like a guy who'd be sat there, like, on, like, fucking Muscle Beach with, like, a fucking backwards cap on, a jumper tied around his neck, and no t-shirt. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of dickhead.
I don't know. See, maybe because I've only seen him in Sex and the City, where he is, like, the guy with the half undone shirt and the row of beads around his neck kind of thing.
Yeah, surfer douche.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
It's not, like, that's not hippie. That's, hippies are dirty, man. Like, hippies are...
Hippies are dirty.
They are, by nature. It's fine, but...
Oh, God. But, yeah, so I wanted you to be, like, watching this with a mind to, like, picking up tips.
Yeah, no, like, now you say that, yeah, he definitely looks like a puka shell cunt. You know what I mean? Like...
So I'm intrigued at what your other notes are, because honestly, I like this one. It was so familiar to me. And, like, the points that we're going to have to deal with, I know are coming.
Well, my next, like, this one isn't going to affect us really either. Dancing Zorba is the kind of name you give a restaurant in a really white suburb.
Yes.
Like,
absolutely.
Holy shit.
But
like,
you have to know it's Greek, therefore you call it Zorbas.
Like, you and I play a game whenever we happen to find ourselves out in, like, not around London so much, because it's generally pretty mixed, but definitely out in very white places. We do always have a fun game of looking at all the food places.
Yeah.
You can tell, like, a Chinese
Yeah.
roughly where it is in relation to a big city based on the name.
Yeah. If it's got any kind of lucky something in there, it's in the suburbs.
Yeah.
It's in a very white area. If, like, masala is in the name of any kind of Indian, that's why. They need to be immediately distinguishable. You need to know where you've got to go.
Yeah, or, like, Rising Sun for
Yeah.
Chinese, or, like...
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas the further you go into cities, we generally seem to find it will be, like, a specific, intricate dish, or, like, something like that
Yeah.
will be the basis, more so.
Let's just take, for instance, the high street that we live on. You've got a Turkish restaurant, which if it was in the deep suburbs, would probably be called something like Istanbul Grill.
Yeah.
So you know it's a kebab house. Whereas here it's called Havet. And then you've got a Chinese, which, as we said, in the suburbs it would be like Rising Sun or Lucky's Chinese.
Lucky's Chinese.
Yes. Whereas here it's called Sanchia.
Yeah, or there's one down the street called Ho Lok. And, yeah, but Dancing fucking Zorbas, on the other hand, is definitely, hey, white America, don't get lost.
This is where you go for Greek food.
But even within, like, the setup of the film, it's like, hey, white America, these people are Greeks. I know you're in a film called My Big Fat Greek Wedding, but...
Just so you know.
Just gonna, like, steep that back on. They're Greek, okay?
Just don't forget it. Greek. All the way through.
Speaking of the way people look, the brother looks like he's had some kind of chin implant. He has a shit ton of chin.
There is a lot of chin there.
But he has masses of chin.
He has masses of chin. It suits him.
It suits
It goes
him,
with the,
but...
like, I think it's to accentuate the gold necklaces around his neck. Pointing to it.
Yeah, maybe it's like stage lighting where
Yeah.
it looks bigger because of all the fucking...
So the gold is, like, highlighting off the end of his chin.
But it was definitely notable enough that I put it down in my notes.
It's like Desperate Dan.
Yeah! He's like the fucking Crimson Chin over here. Like...
See, you'd never really heard of Nia Vardalos, that was the lead actress, apart from being in this, really, had you?
No, I know she was in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Yeah, it's like a cameo, very briefly.
Yeah, but generally speaking, no. I can't think of anything. Let me look her up. Let me see.
I'm also going to make you watch My Big Fat Greek Wedding too.
Why?
Because.
What? Why? Have you seen it? Is it good?
I've seen it. I don't remember if it's good.
That's not.
Oh, is that My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3?
There was a TV show that ran for 1 year and was rated 4.6 out of 10.
Okay, I won't make you watch that.
The continued adventures of the Portocarlos family from My Big Fat Greek Wedding, starting from when Nia and her husband returned from their honeymoon. So just
to move into the house next door to her parents.
That was, yeah. We'll jump through my notes quickly, but holy shit, no.
Again, maybe this is a background thing, but I have said to you in the past that if we had enough money and we had like a huge house and some outbuildings, I would quite happily have your parents living in our outbuildings. I would have my parents living in our outbuildings.
I would have neither. If we had enough money, I would be moving our house as far possibly on land that I could away from where they lived. And I love my parents. I really do. But if it was one or the other, it would be further away.
No, they will be living in our garden at some point.
Just got some fucking gypsies moved in.
It's nice. You can see them when you want. You've always got babysitters. Always someone there to watch the house.
No. No.
No.
Look, you know, my mum's family all lives in within a certain area. My dad's family has been intentionally spread out as nearly as far as you can get from each other within the country in straight lines.
See, all of my dad and his siblings, and apart from my dad now, the majority of his siblings and my grandparents and their grandchildren all live within a mile of each other.
Horrifying.
Maybe a mile and a half, but yeah, no, nothing more than that. A mile. Literally.
See, I don't want that.
You have no choice.
Like, I love my family, but it's nice not to have them, like, especially, like, on the same road would be awful. Genuinely awful. We're not doing that. I can promise you.
But yeah, no, I did think that bit at the end. As soon as that came up, I saw you scribble a note in your phone.
Yeah. Like, I cannot fucking imagine a world where I would want that. I wouldn't want that with my own family, let alone anyone else's, you know what I mean? Like, no, you should have some space. It should be
Who
like...
needs space!
Well, like, me and you started dating mainly because we were living next door to each other.
Oh, thanks. Jesus, it was location. You worked. Location-wise, it worked.
How the fuck else were we gonna meet? But what happened then is that, like, every single day since we met, basically, or properly met, has been spent, well, was spent either in each other's houses, and then we moved in together pretty fucking quickly, all things considered, after that.
Yeah. I mean, we say moved in, it was pretty much, we lived in each other's house from day dot.
We just had two houses to live in.
Yeah.
And that worked for us. But that's special. That's special, and it's a thing that I don't think can be recreated, so we shouldn't try.
Then swiftly moving on, apparently.
Next, they had by a family restaurant. Do they mean to dine there? You have to either already be a part of their family or subsequently become one. Because that is the truth for every single person you see in that fucking diner.
Yeah, you take this as a joke, but that is generally how it works. If it's like that kind of community, as soon as you open a business, that is your clientele, and that's who you're relying on. It's the people you know. If it's not your family, it's extended family or people you know from the community.
But like, this poor fucking guy, right? He dines in there once and suddenly now he's getting married
to
in.
the daughter. That's how it works. You have to be married to them.
You want family discount? Be part of family. Yeah, like... But even just, like... Where is it set? Jersey?
Chicago, I believe.
Okay.
It says there.
Yeah, there's other people there. So even if they just occasionally had an extra, like, wander in and, you know, just sit there at the table...
There are occasionally. I'm sure if you look at the other background scenes, there's people in there somewhere.
I tried.
Yeah, no, the only two outsiders that did come in, none of them ended up married into the family, so yeah.
And I'm presuming the other guy was at the fucking wedding.
He was, and getting ironed up by one of the cousins, so there you go.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, that is not a sustainable fucking business plan.
He's worked for them. He's bought a nice house.
Next note was the dad is mainly made up of circles. He's a very circular
squishy,
man.
He was squishy.
Yes,
It's like all the circles got put on top of each other and then just weight compressed them down. So now he's just little squidgy man.
Yeah, he looks like fucking Pom Pom from Homestar Runner. Like, he's got this little squishy little head, and like
he's made entirely of marshmallow.
He is.
I could just imagine that if he's that person, you would just put your finger in his arm or something, it would just stay there indented, it wouldn't come back out.
I feel like you could write stuff on him with fridge magnets.
I am poking you while I say this, just because I want to.
Something that you could talk more about, the term "the family" used as a phrase of doom.
Yeah, I mean, this is right. Okay, so I love my family, and we all love each other very much, and we are in each other's company a lot, and that is great and terrifying in equal measure. Like, these people are always there for you, but these people are always there. Is the only way I can describe it. I mean, me less so. Like, I'm kind of, not the black sheep of the family, but I'm kind of
the black sheep of the family.
The weird 35-year-old living with her Encino boyfriend. But yeah, and it's just the comfort that is given, the support, but also the strangulation, the judgment, suffocating of any hopes or dreams that you witness in the main character's brother in this.
You do.
And it's so subtly done, but you can just see him dying slowly inside.
A plot point that, by the way, never gets resolved.
It does. He goes to college at the end.
Oh, he does.
He does. He goes to college at the end because he wants to become an artist. But just that, like, if you don't follow what is considered the norm, it's a very difficult, I suppose, is the best way to put it.
Well, it's more just the idea of, like, everyone is equally part of the unit and outside of the unit at the same time on their own terms. But no one can see anyone else as being like that unless you're especially close. And so it just becomes this fucking, like, amorphous horde that is going to judge you, and you have to try and, like, fucking protect yourself from.
Yeah, and you have to maneuver through and kind of negotiate. And it's all very tense. Like, the big family, where it's, I can say the extended family as well, when it's a whole house full of people. It's not just a room full of people. And it'll be all these second cousins twice removed that your nan really cares about what they think, and yet you have no idea who they are. Or what their names are.
Whereas that's where I'm at, like, coming from my background. Like, unless my mum or dad thinks something, I do, like... Not only do I not give a fuck, but I don't have to either. Like, my aunt or uncle, and I presume they think everything's cool with me, but if they had their judgments, they don't matter. Like, you can have them all you want, but the idea that you're going to say them and it's going to fucking mean anything to anyone is, like, a completely crazy idea.
Yeah. I mean, what was the other scene that I kind of think demonstrates that as well, is when she goes to her fiancé and pulls him out of his class that he's a teacher, and is just like, can we please just elope? Can we please just leave, run away, don't have the big party, don't have all that, because it is just this weird melding of two worlds and collision course that it just doesn't, I don't know if you don't come from that background, that it just doesn't work. It's like oil and water, it's just in your brain, it's just like, how is that ever going to work? Of like, my family and then my friends would, like, it's all, and I just was like, yeah, no, I completely understand why she wanted to elope. Because you love your family individually, but en masse, it's a lot of different people and it's a lot.
But that's why you just, you know, you don't try and make trouble.
Don't try and make trouble, stay very quiet, stay in the corner.
But that's it, like, it's always just this presumed doom that I always laugh at, with you and in this film. Because I'm like, I come from a place where I'm gonna push until I get told no, and then I won't. Because I've been told no. Whereas you don't want to get told no.
I don't deal well with being told no. So I'd rather not hear it.
So you don't even try and, like, do the push.
Yeah, no. I don't know how to explain it. That's why I wanted you to watch it. Just little things like having to explain all of their names and what the different, like, honorifics are for every one person. And
but it's like the trans stuff, right? And like, or like non-binary, perhaps more so. But all of this stuff is easy enough to pick up.
yeah.
If you're not a complete dumbass, like, it's very easy to be like, okay, they, and I'm sorry if I fuck up.
Yeah.
Or like you know, I know fucking Hala means aunt, talking Turks, but and Amja is uncle, and fucking...
If it's on your dad's side, yeah.
Cool. But...
It's dire if it's on your mum's side.
But
We'll get there.
You're half Turkish, so it's all been Amja.
Yes, true.
I only have to know your Amja side.
No, but then my dad's got dyers. And you'll need to know them because they're my great dyers.
But again,
so cocky.
It's all very, like, it's learnable shit.
Yeah.
It's not a moment of like, oh my god, they're gonna freak out. Which it is part of this movie as well.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Like, they are such her family are such lovely people. Like, they are genuinely lovely people. They care about each other. They support each other in some ways, and yet, on a whole, it is this terrifying. Like, because there's so many expectations and
they're so insular.
Yeah.
Like, the way that anyone in the family in the movie, to a degree in yours, is able to break out and date at all is surprising. Because it like, other than that, it's so like, okay, we're gonna take a walk with fucking your auntie, and we're gonna fucking go around your granddad's on fucking Saturdays, and we're gonna fucking... Where do you find time to meet anyone else?
Your grandparents set it up. And obviously it's not like that now.
Yeah.
Like, I think mine was the last generation of kind of those clinging on to that kind of thing. It's not...
That shit trying to be pushed.
Yeah, it's not that anymore. But if you've come from that background, especially from my age and upwards, you will recognise it, you will understand it, and that is why this was like the sleeper, massive surprise box office hit that it was, I think.
It was huge. I remember hearing about this movie, even as a however the fuck old I was when it came out.
Yeah. Like, it was huge. And it was not supposed to be. I think that's what it is. It was just this little movie that no one had heard of, and There was no one in it that anyone had heard of. And it just was fucking huge. Because there were all these people, like, recognising everything in there.
Well, the one I presume she'd been in stuff before this, but the breakout star for me was fucking Andrea Martin, because I love her. She's great.
I don't know the name.
She's,
The auntie?
Yeah. And she's in Good News or Great News, whichever show that is. The one that Tina Fey produced.
I don't think I've seen that.
But yeah, she's fucking great.
Yeah. No, she is that. Hers were the moments that you caught me laughing at the most.
Yeah.
Because there are so many great aunts I recognised in her, just amalgamated into this one amazing character. The one where she sits down, there's a scene where she sits down and she's talking to the fiance's parents, who are very, you know, Protestant American country club people.
Vegetarian.
Yeah. And she just starts off with this truly horrific tale about her sibling that she swallows in the womb. And then just goes, let's have a drink. That is so typical of so many great aunts I know, where they're just always talking about their woes and their health problems and like, no, I'm dying this week. No, I ain't got no time left. It's coming. I feel it's coming. And like, you just, it's brilliant.
I'm gonna be gone.
Yeah. You're gone, boy, sorry.
But yeah, she's fucking great. The whole cast does. I don't think anyone stands out as bad.
No. Like, I really, watching this now, loved this movie more than I remembered.
The white man is a bit bland.
The fiance.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think he's meant to be. That's kind of the point of him. He's meant to be supportive and great and lovely, which he is in this. You can't deny it. Like, he's pretty fucking steadfast.
Fine,
he's a good guy.
He's just quite bland.
But that's what he's meant to be. It's not about him.
What other notes do I have? Want some meat? It was a frequently offered thing in this fucking movie, and the type of meat was never specified.
Lamb at one point was, because it will be lamb. What you mean you don't eat no meat? Because no, you don't. It's chicken or lamb generally.
It's okay. I do some lamb.
Yeah, I do some lamb. Because that's not meat, it's fine.
Yeah, just, you want some meat? Yeah, I'll have some meat. Give me meat.
Meat. Just hunk of meat.
She's Sandy from Grease herself to go to college. Because at the start of the movie, she's just meant to look like a dowdy kind of...
Frumpy.
Yeah.
No character about her, I think, is what she does. Nothing to make herself stand out in any way.
Yeah. She's got these big glasses on, like, fucking hair's all flat and frizzy at the same time.
Everything is beige.
There's very little, like, vain self-care, I guess you could label it as, or like appearance-based self-care.
You can tell she just wants to blend into any situation she is a part of, because that's the easiest way not to get spotted or judgment be placed on you.
But and then the part of the plot involves her going to college to study computing, and to prepare herself for college, she Sandy from Greases herself, and that's basically Act 1.
Yeah, she plucks, she does her hair,
she gets it all curled up, spritzed up, and
she gets some new clothes on, and that's it. She's good to go. She glowed up.
Jingity jing.
You mock, but I remember, what was it I found the other day? And it was my ID card from when I was at college. And I was my early Vardola stage of life. Where plucking had not occurred to me yet. My hair was always in a bun. I kind of wore the biggest, baggiest clothes that I could find. And then I glowed up. I did a Sandy over 15 years, and they did it within the first 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. And like, it's a real look, because she's it's a very like early 2000s Greek girl.
Yeah.
Sandying, but I just had that thought when I was watching it of like, oh, that's that took a whole musical to get to.
Just her putting on some lip gloss and plucking her eyebrows.
Yeah.
Because she does nothing major in this. She doesn't do anything like... She just puts some clothes on and does her hair.
Yeah, pretty much. She puts her contacts in as well. She
does put her contacts in, yeah.
But no, it definitely was meant to be a big old makeover moment.
Yeah.
Just I'm striding out on my own, got my good hair on.
She's Becky with the good hair now.
She is. Becky.
She's Becky with the good hair.
Next note was the limo looks like a cake. And it did look like a fucking cake.
It did, I wanted to eat it.
If you're on YouTube right now, I'll put in a picture of the cake, of the limo. And...
Oh, the limo cake. The cake limo.
But it was so much like a cake. And like, oh man, there was some real tacky shit in this movie. It was like... It was like a fucking Michael Bay movie version of fashion. It was, you know, it was just schlock, but schlock in places that you don't usually get schlock.
I don't know. I just thought that was very indicative of its time. It was very early noughties fashion.
Maybe I was too young to take note.
You were. Now shut up and move on.
The white mum looks like she's gonna sneeze and become a skeleton.
It's the driest woman ever, she is.
Yeah, she was corpsey.
Mm-hmm.
She was very, very
She
corpsey.
was kindling.
That's it. It looked like all it was going to take was a sneeze and she was going to join the other side. You know what I mean? Like, this woman did not look healthy.
I think that's what there was, like, the contrast between, obviously, the main character's mum, who is just this big bosom, bountiful, wants to feed you every meat possible, larger than life Greek mother. And then you've got the country club, vegetarian, survives on gin and antidepressants.
Yeah.
Kind of vibe.
Yeah, no, like... Her skin looked like it had been sewn on, but, like, well done.
By a very well-respected surgeon.
Yeah, like, they'd hidden all the fucking joins well enough, but it was just you'd applied it to a skeleton, like a coat of paint.
It's fine. She gets some sake in her in the end of it, and it revives her. It plumps her up again slightly.
She does look ill before that, though. She does look incredibly ill.
Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately a very...
I loved it. I cannot tell you enough. I kind of want to watch it again. I giggled through the whole thing.
You were fucking howling at certain points.
Because I can't put it in words as to why. It just hammers home and just rings so true. If you, like, because the first time I saw it, I was around 15, I think. Maybe a little bit older, I can't remember exactly. And it was that time where I was, like, not satisfied. I was like, no, you can't do anything till you're married, blah, blah, blah. Because that was still kind of a thing for me. And I just empathised with her so much. And now I'm like, look at me now with my living boyfriend.
You fucking heathen.
I know, my younger living boyfriend. I'm a cougar.
You are a coug.
I loved it.
But that's it. But it's not, like we said, it's not a rom-com, which I wasn't expecting, and probably led to me enjoying it more. Because it didn't just hang on that same bullshitty structure.
Yeah, it wasn't about, oh, they're going to make up, then they're going to break up, then there's going to have to be a grand declaration at the end.
Dude, I'm sure that, like, the fucking... The structure of rom-coms has led to so many shitty relationships being attemptedly extended. Because you think, oh, you know, like, we're fighting, but, you know, it's like... And it's only been a month, but, you know what? I love him.
Yeah. This happens. This is just our tricky point.
Yeah. And it's like, no, it should be easy, and it should, like, go... Like, even if you have fucking... There's road bumps in the road to, like, get over, it shouldn't be hard. It should be pretty fucking easy if it's the right thing for you, and like, that's what I appreciated out of this movie, maybe more than anything else, is that someone told a story like that. Again, it wasn't really about that.
No.
It was more about the dad, if anything, I'd say. He had the most complete, like, character arc, but even he just fucking, like, he's fussy and he's fucking, like, a little ill-tempered towards certain ideas, but by the end he's just like, yep, you're one of us, bitch.
You're one of us now.
you're fucking in this family, cunt. He just comes around, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no...
And that's ultimately what normally happens.
That's it. It's a nice gesture. There's no grand fucking thing that has to happen to him. He just fucking, like...
Although he does buy them a house, that's a pretty big gesture.
It's a pretty good gesture, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd appreciate that gesture.
But there you go. He's on board of that. I can understand for some people that being a detriment to the movie.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can, but I don't.
But yeah, like sometimes stuff doesn't have to go to like rigid structure to work. It can just help stuff work. And if it's working on its own, then fucking you've done it. Well done. Don't have to like cower and add in all this false drama on top of that.
Yeah. I am tempted to watch the TV program now.
Good luck finding it.
Oh.
I feel like it's going to be one of those.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, I'd rank this as... I'll give it 7.5 out of 10.
I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10.
The amount you squeed through it, you would be, I'd object to you giving it anything less than that.
Yeah, no, 9 out of 10 all the way. I literally laughed from beginning to end.
You had laughing tears in your eyes and shit.
What's up, YouTube? Thanks for listening to this segment from our new podcast. The full thing's available on Anchor and Spotify and currently SoundCloud, but maybe we'll never put an episode up there again if we really can't be asked to pay their exorbitant fees. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.